Well, we have with us in the studios a barrister team in Mbeseha. Good evening, barrister, and welcome to Undaunted.
Good evening to you, and thank you.
Barrister, so we've seen these two reports. We're seeing one case of arson where unknown gunmen have set ablaze parts of Mbat on fire, including a church that used to be a safe haven and a refuge for the people of the community. And in another case, we're seeing in a public market space, gunfire exchange between the Amazonian State Army and the colonial forces of occupation that led to the shooting of one innocent woman and people leaving their products outside unattended because apparently it is obvious their lives are more important. These two cases show extreme consequences of the ongoing war in Amazonia. I would like to get your thoughts on these recent happenings.
Thank you again for having me. The incidents merit to an analysis because you talk about two different things entirely. Just take Mbat. Mbat is not the first attack. We've had attacks in Mbat before. They have been repeated long time, several times. I've said here, everybody challenge me. That was in Mbat. The government is about 70% responsible. When I say the government, I mean the government of the Republic of Cameroon. One, if those people are just being attacked by whoever, criminals around the community, whose responsibility is it to catch the criminals? It is the government of Cameroon. Whose responsibility is it to prosecute them? It is the government of Cameroon. And I've insisted, and that is the truth, that there are so many soldiers in Donga Mountain. There are so many bees and gendarmes and police who must be attacked at any time and go free. The second element of the Mbat attack goes to allegations that the people might have crossed from Nigeria. Yes, there are allegations, but who is to prove whether they crossed from Nigeria or not? It is the government, because Nigeria is a sovereign country. And if actually in Nigeria, is that a difficult thing for Cameroon government to solve? No. The Cameroon government should contact the Nigerian government, the Nigerian authorities around there. And the two countries can then resolve the issue as soon as possible. This, again, falls on the arms of the government, not you and me, not the ordinary Mbat woman who is selling cocoyams along the road. And so if the government has abandoned its responsibility from investigating even where they come from, who is to be blamed? And I can give this as an example. A number of years back, I come from Libya. Libya shares a border with Meno and the Cameroon. Communities have that type of cross-border attacks. They occurred there. And there in Libya, they were profess and sub-profess. They realized that it was not something they could solve at that level, considering that they were part of Cameroon. It crossed the region. It was a regional border crossing from the west to the southwest. What did they do? They convened a high-level commission that composed of the governor of the southwest and the governor of the west. They sat down and they sorted out those problems. It is a farmer grazier problem I've said many times before. That's not new. Farmer grazier issues arise and they should be handled by the government. By simply, for example, defining everybody's territory. You feed where you're supposed to feed, you grow your cocoyams or your beans where you're supposed to grow. Either way, it is the responsibility of the government to prosecute the people, to investigate the real causes of the problem, and to bring real solutions to them. That's why I say, did anybody challenge me on this? They challenge me that it's not the responsibility of California. They challenge me whether it is not their responsibility to investigate, which investigation in their own terms will never bring any result. The second part of the story is the one in Widikum, which is totally different. In Widikum, if the story is true, the attack is arising around the market square. Why? Because La Republique du Cameroun is mounting, the soldiers are mounting illegal checkpoints there. To do what? Extort money from people going to the market. To extort something from people coming from the market. Is that legal? Even in Cameroon, it is not legal. Who will enter that? It is the Cameroon government. And so the ASAs attacked them. And in that process, people, who is responsible for that? The ASA are in their right to tell them you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be an Ambazonia. Talk less of extorting people in Widikum. And so, either way, it is the government of Cameroon pull soldiers away from us. If they didn't pull them away completely, if they instructed them to stop extorting money from market goers or market, that would have occurred. But they're not doing it. Do they expect at this criminal act that they do to go unchallenged? No. But what can an ordinary woman or somewhere there and ordinary do with the house? Their guns can all be matched by the guns of our own boys and girls who are defending our own territory. Again, these are two different things. This first one I've said is responsibility of government because they are supposed to maintain order there. Because at least they claim that Donga Mountain weddings are happening is part of their territory. Because it's part of security there, not Amazonians. And in the second one I've just said, it is their responsibility. Their responsibility does not include extortion. I remember some times ago, even in the Republic, they have put the term to that mountain of roadblocks just extort money from people. They are unable to control their own security forces. What else do you expect? You remember a story in Limbe, I think, not long ago. They were standing on the road trying to extort money from a driver. The driver said, look, we don't have money. They said, okay, carry us in your truck. Take us to our brigade where you sign documents and bring us the money. Why the poor driver could not do anything, he carried them. And God having it their way, the truck fell and the two policemen died. They died in the accident, the driver did not die. What do you mean by that? Working in our favor. At least God is not asleep. And so the two incidents I've just said can be analyzed in two different ways, which I've just done. I wish anybody dare challenge me on any of the analysis I've made. Over to you.
Thank you, Barrister Mbeseha, for that contribution there.